Radhe Radhe, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Mandir, Shri Vrindavan Dham. Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Rupanug Guru Varga ki jai, Pratik Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Shachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai, Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki jai, Radha Ramana Ju ki jai, गिरिराज महाराज की जय, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, श्री गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। So we'll begin with Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, which is falling apart, Shri Gauriya Giti Guccha, Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam. Dandava Pranama Vaishnavas. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavāśtra Shri Nirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Parjana Sabhagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitangstra Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Namine Shri Krishna Lila Katane Sudaksham Audarya Madhurya Gunashcha Yuktam Varam Varinyam Purusham Mahantam Nārayanam Tvam Shirashan Namami Tridandinam Bhakta Shiromanim Cha Shri Krishna Pada Jigataika Hriddi Chaitanya Leela Sara Sar Nārayanam Tvam Satatam Prapadye Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedānta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirdishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Gaurapreshthaya Bhutale Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Pragyāno Keshava Nityanamine Atimatyacharitraya Swashritanam Chapanine Jivadute Sadarathaya Shri Nama Premadayine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Daitaya Kripabhaye Krishna Sambandha Vigyana Daine Prabhave Namaha माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमध्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदां श्री गौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दिनकारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्धापसिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे। नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भरसम्बोधे पदम्बुजायते नमः। नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगवरायते। गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रियं वैष्णवः सर्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरध्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जयतां सुदतो पङ्गो मम मन्दं मतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदम्बोजो राधा मदनमोहनो। दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमद श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्री श्रीराधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेव प्रेष्ठादिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि। श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भी वंशिवत्तततस्थितः कर्षन्वेणुस्वनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तुनः। वृन्दाये तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनम् श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम्। आनन्दम्बुदिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्। हरेर्नाम हरेर्नाम हरेर्नामेव केवलं खलो नस्त्येव 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 गतिरन्यथा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Dandava pranamo Vaishnavas. So, again today Sudevi is resting her voice, getting ready for that big one. So, we're continuing our seva out and also within. But she's here and she's offering her pranam to all of you. Excuse me. Gurudev kripa karke mujhko apna lena. Sudevi, are you able to see what's going on here?
It's on.
Oh, interesting.
Can you ask for some prayers for Lavangamala? She's going through surgery.
For what?
No one can first her spine, and she's really scared, and no one's allowed to go with her because of COVID. So can you please?
Okay.
She's gonna have her headphones on, and she's tuning in to the live.
So, you're from England?
Yeah, Lavangamala.
Wow. Okay. So many of you are from the UK, and even if you're not, many of you may know her, Lavangamala.
She's one of the twins.
She's one of the twins, nieces of Ashtasaki, and she is going for some kind of urgent surgery on her spine today, and she's
alone except for her headphones.
So she's not allowed to go in with any friends or anyone else because of the, surgery one, but because of the situation with COVID, and she's quite concerned. So if we could offer prayers for her. She's got her headphones on and she's with us, but if we could offer prayers for her.
Sending so much affection and so many prayers, Lavanga. Gurudev will protect you. And Dandavat Pranam all Vaishnavas.
Radhe Radhe. Okay, I think I figured out how to not have the volume of the live feed along with the Tampura. I can see something there. Gurudev kripa karke mujhko apna lena. Generally, we sing the bhajans of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas. And this one is not written by our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, but this one has a very specific capacity to attract the attention and mercy of our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya, Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja, Śrīla Gurudev. So, I was just speaking with Yashodanandan Prabhu about this. Really, the first principle of Sharanagati is to accept everything which is favorable for awakening bhakti, devotion in one's heart, and to utilize whatever we can for that purpose. That is part of, you can say, the proof of desire or greed, that however one can get it, in whatever way one can purchase it, beg, borrow, or steal, or purchase, one must acquire it without delay. And so if we know any tricks or any shortcuts, for example, for myself, if I'm ever feeling empty, which happens sometimes, believe it or not, and I'm thinking, what have I done? How come I'm not feeling any connectedness? And I start praying to Gurudev and I start thinking, how can I somehow attract his mercy and attention? Then I'll start speaking about or glorifying his Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Mahārāja. It's a trick and it works. And so I take advantage of that to somehow call on the mercy of Gurudev. That if I'm speaking about that personality, who is his heart and soul, that he may be able to recognize that and maybe give me something, one particle of mercy or blessings. And in this case, this bhajan, Gurudev Kripa Karke Mujhko Apna Lena, it's not written by Narottam Das Thakur, it's not written by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, it's not written by Lochan Das Thakur. We heard it was written by a disciple of our Srila Gurudev. And even the words were adjusted here to accommodate the masculine gender, but it was actually written by one of his lady disciples in Mathura, we have heard, and it was very dear to him. And when we would sing it, we would recognize how he would reciprocate with it. And so for us, it is one of these shortcuts to the heart of our Gurudev. We personally witnessed when Sudevi told us all, we should sing this bhajan so loudly in such a way that Gurudev will come down and be with us. And we were singing, looking up at the ceiling because he was upstairs, and sure enough, on his own, he was coming down the stairs, holding the railing with both hands, looking at us with eager excitement. And he came down by himself, down the stairs, at 75 or more years of age. And he sat with us. And Sudevi at the end said, "Thank you so much for coming and being with us." And he said, "I had to. You called me." And so there are so many mediums by which we can call Gurudev. Mangalacharan is one of them, but if we know that there's something which has specific capacity, specific potency, then why not take advantage of it? So now we will sing Gurudev Kripa Karke Mujhko Apana Lena. Gurudev Kripa Karke Mujhko Apana Lena. Gurudev Kripa Karke Mujhko Apana Lena. Main sharan para teri, charanon mein jagah dena. Main sharan para teri, charanon mein jagah dena. Charanon mein jagah dena. Charanon mein jagah dena. Gurudev Kripa Karke Mujhko Apana Lena. Gurudev Kripa Karke Mujhko Apana Lena. Karuna nidhi naam tera, karuna barasao tu. Karuna nidhi naam tera, karuna barasao tu. Soye hue bhagya ko संतों का सेवक हूँ, गुरु चरणों का दास हूँ, नहीं नाथ भुलाना मुझे, इस जग में अकेला हूँ, नहीं नाथ भुलाना मुझे, इस जग में अकेला हूँ, इस जग में अकेला हूँ, इस जग में अकेला हूँ, तेरे द्वार का भिखारी हूँ, नहीं दिल से भुला देना, तेरे द्वार का भिखारी हूँ, नहीं दिल से भुला देना, गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना, गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना, मैं शरण परा तेरी, चरणों में जगा देना, मैं शरण परा तेरी, चरणों में जगा देना, चरणों में जगा देना, चरणों में जगा देना, गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना, गुरुदेव कृपा करके मुझको अपना लेना, जय गुरुदेव, जय गुरुदेव, गुरुदेव जय गुरुदेव, जय गुरुदेव, जय गुरुदेव, जय गुरुदेव, जय गुरुदेव, प्रभुपादो जय प्रभुपादो, 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 गुरु परंपरा, 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 श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, रूपानुग गुरुवर्ग की जय, गुरु परंपरा की जय। Many years ago, there were some persons, young ladies, who were having difficulty sleeping because in their dreams, or maybe not even in their dreams, they were having difficulty with what we call being attacked by ghosts. And they were trying everything they could to ward off that very disturbing, negative, and evil effect or effect. And they had tried so many things, as we do, sprinkling Ganga water around, chanting, putting picture of Lord Nrsimhadev there, opening up Bhagavatam to the page of Lord Nrsimhadev, etc., and so forth. Many devotees experience these things, I have heard, because as we are moving forward on the path of devotion, we're coming out of the mode of ignorance, even out of the mode of passion, touching on the mode of goodness and maybe even higher levels, and you become more sensitive to more subtle energies. So more awareness of these things come about. We know from Shastra that these things are real. Otherwise they wouldn't speak about it so much. It's subtle material energies or subtle bodies, and the gross body encapsulates the subtle body. So a embodied soul without the gross body, but with the subtle body, would be considered a ghost or a spirit. And because of that situation, they're in a state of frustration, and so they cause disturbances naturally. So these devotees had tried so many different things. And then they finally approached our Srila Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And they were wondering why it's not really working. And he said, because your relationship with those personalities that you're calling to is very weak. You're chanting Harinam, but you don't have strong faith in the holy name. You're reading Bhagavatam, but you don't have strong faith in Krishna. You're calling on Narasimha Bhagavan, but you don't really have strong faith there. He said, but you have a relationship with your Gurudev who has strong connection with Krishna. So when these negative influences come, you should loudly call out the name of your transcendental Gurudev. And it was quite interesting. They did try it, it worked, and he said, you do this and they will stop disturbing you and they will not return. Because the potency for all of these kinds of things to work depends on the depth of relationship with them. That's why Sambandha Gyan is so important. Knowledge of one's relationship to Krishna. Sanatana Gosvāmī Pad, he is the Acharya who is representing Sambandha Gyan. And the deity representing Sambandha Gyan is Madan Mohanji. I just saw here that Padmanabh Goswami is watching. Dandavat Pranam. And he is one of the main pujaris of Śrī Radharaman, who contains within himself Madan Mohan, Govinda, Gopinath. He is the embodiment of all Gaudiya Thakurs. So, relationship is essential with Harinam Prabhu, with Shastra, with Krishna, if we're able to actually call him. We see that Narasimha Bhagavan, when he killed Hiranyakashipu, he was in such a fit of rage, killing this demon, that so many personalities were encouraged. You should go forward and try to appease him, offer prayers. Brahmaji was like, no. Mahadev Shiva was like, no. Lakshmi Devi said, I've never seen my husband in such a way before. No one wanted to go forward. Little Prahlad, due to his relationship with him, he manifested directly in that form to protect Prahlad. Before, no one had seen such a form. So because of this relationship, Prahlad went to him and he accepted Prahlad like any lion would love their cub. Like this, with so much affection, and then his heart softened. Then he was able to receive these prayers. From a distance, everyone was offering prayers. So what is my power to call Krishna directly? We don't have this power. That's why we always go through Shri Guru first. I can chant the holy name, but on my own, ekaki amar, nahi paibal harinama sankirtane. I don't have strength to call Krishna directly. I don't have that power. O Vaishnava Thakur, tumi kripa kori. Please give me your mercy. Shraddha bindu diya. Just give me one drop of faith. Deho Krishna namadhane. Give me the wealth of Krishna Nam. But what is the Shraddha? Shraddha shabde vishvash kohe sudrida nishchoy Krishna bhakti koile sarva karma krita hoy. We talk about Shraddha as faith in this world, but it is not so cheap or simple like that. It is paramarthik, transcendental faith. according to all revealed scriptures. And those who know the truth. What is Shraddha? That word, Shraddha Shabde, Vishwas ko hi sudridhanishtra, it means Krishna Bhakti Koile Sarvakarma Krita. Just by doing bhakti, by performing or doing the activities of bhakti, meaning with love and devotion to Krishna, everything that we do, automatically all obligations are taken care of. There's nothing else to worry about, nothing else to do. Everything is already taken care of. Now, this is quite high, quite elevated position. So I don't necessarily have that conviction, but we have relationship with a form of the Lord, Sakshat Hari, Tvena Samashtashaste, the direct manifestation of Hari, but in a specialized form or aspect, that is Shri Guru, in the form of the Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead, as our Srila Prabhupada would say, means he is the embodiment of loving service to Krishna. And by approaching that person who has descended for my benefit and connected to me out of mercy, Krishna's mercy has taken a form and walked into my life in essence and accepted me. If I connect to that personality and pray to them, please, on my own, I am so weak, I have no strength. I have some relationship to you. Tumhara karuna asar, your mercy is everything to me. Then when we call out to Shri Guru, whom we do have some faith in, some relationship with, some affection for, at least some admiration for. Oh, he's so beautiful, he's so sweet, he's my Gurudev. With that sambandha, that relationship, then if we cry out for the mercy of Gurudev, Gurudev can help us to make all appropriate and necessary connections. Gurudev is the connecting principle between the jiva and Bhagavan. So Srila Gurudev said, call my name loudly, and they will not disturb anymore. So this just came up because we just, of course, heard that Lavangamala is in the hospital and she's going through a difficult situation. So of course we remember Hare Krishna always. Remember Krishna, remember what we've heard about Krishna, but also hold tightly to the lotus feet of our Gurudev. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Mando Mui Sadhan Mate. The only way to attain pure bhakti for Krishna is to hold tightly to the lotus feet of Shri Guru. With great care and attention, we should hold tightly to those lotus feet. So now we will call out for the mercy of Vaishnavas. Thakur Vaishnava Pada Avanira Su Sampada Shunobhai Hoya Ekaman. Page 38 in our songbook, Gaudiya Gita Gucha. If you do not have the songbook, we are very fortunate to have among us Jiva Pavana Prabhu, who kindly posts the bhajans in the comment section of the thread. So just scroll to his most recent post, and there you will find the bhajan, and you can follow along. There's also an app known as the Gaudiya Kirtan app. I don't know if it's working properly, but you should also be able to access the bhajans there. Thakura Vaishnava Pada. This is a prayer by Narottam Das Thakur speaking about the power of the water which has washed the feet of the Vaishnavas, the dust from the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Bhakta Pada Dhuli Ar, Bhakta Pada Jal, Bhakta Bhukta Avashesh Etin Mahava. Three substances are extremely powerful. Our Gurudev said, even if you've lost your enthusiasm in bhakti, you've lost your interest, these substances are so powerful, they can reverse your causeless unwillingness. And that is these three substances: the dust from the feet of the pure devotees, the water which has washed the lotus feet of the pure devotees, and the remnants of their foodstuffs. 18 Mahabal. Maha means great and Bal means power, extremely powerful. These three substances. So Narottam Das Thakur is glorifying these substances and the association of the pure Vaishnavas. Thakur Vaishnava Pada Avanira Susampada Thakur Vaishnava Pada Avanira Susampada Shuno Krishna Vaishnava Sanketemo Anandito Janusham Sada Hare Krishna Parasanga Sada Hare Krishna Parasanga Sada Hare Krishna Parasanga Sada Hare Krishna Parasanga Nilonaro Kamakande Hiyadharyo Ahi Bandhe Nilonaro Kamakande Hiyadharyo Ahi Bandhe Moro dosha Keno Hoyo Bhanga 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 Jayo Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnava Thakur Jai Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Jai Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnava Thakur Jai Vaishnava Thakur Prabhu Kripa Karo More Doya Karo Prabhu Kripa Karo More Doya Karo Prabhu Kripa Karo More Doya Karo Kripa Karo More Doya Karo Vaishnava Thakur Ki Jai Let's see if I can do this for a sec. Yam Kalirupa Sharira Nadharata, page 47. Yam Kalirupa Sharira Nadharata Yam Kalirupa Sharira Nadharata Yam Kalirupa Sharira Nadharata Yam Kalirupa Sharira Nadharata Tan Braj Prema Mahānidhi Kārtika Tan Braj Prema Mahānidhi Kārtika Konakapata Bharata Konakapata Bharata Yam Kalirupa Sharira Nadharata Yam Kalirupa Sharira Nadharata Nirakiraham Sano Pano Vidhayano Nirakiraham Sano Pano Vidhayano Kona Pritaka Karipayoto Kona पायतो को सब त्याजी भजी वृंदावन को सब त्याजी भजी वृंदावन को सब ग्रंथ विराजित को सब ग्रंथ विराजित यं कलियुग शरीरनाधारत यं कलियुग शरीरनाधारत जब पितुवान पुरा फलथराना विधो जब पितुवान पुरा फलथराना विधो मनोराजी अरविंद मनोराजी अरविंद सोमधुकार बिनु पान को न जानत सोमधुकार बिनु पान को न जानत विद्यमानो कलिबंध विद्यमानो कलिबंध यं कलियुग शरीरनाधारत यं कलियुग शरीरनाधारत को जानत मथुरा वृंदावन को जानत मथुरा वृंदावन को जानत रजनीत को जानत रजनीत को जानत राधा माधवरती को जानत राधा माधवरती को जानत सोई प्रीत को जानत सोई प्रीत यं कलियुग शरीरनाधारत यं कलियुग शरीरनाधारत जाकर चरण प्रसादे सकल जन जाकर चरण प्रसादे सकल जन गाई गवाय सुख पावत गाई गवाय सुख पावत चरण कमले शरणागत माधव चरण कमले शरणागत माधव तव महिमा बहुलागत तव महिमा बहुलागत यं कलियुग शरीरनाधारत यं कलियुग शरीरनाधारत तन्व्रज प्रेम महानिधि कुहरिः तन्व्रज प्रेम Gosvāmī Pād ki jai, Śrī Satyavrata Gosvāmī Prabhu ki jai. What we were speaking about previously also flows with this idea of going in a progression. Why are we first calling out to Shri Guru, then to Vaishnavas, then to Rupa Gosvāmī Pad and our son Goswamis, then to Nityananda Prabhu, then to Mahaprabhu? Because we're seeking each of their mercy along the way, so that we may be able to somehow or other attract the mercy of Sri Radha and Krishna. But if we try to go directly, it won't be possible. We must go through the proper medium. And the proper medium, as we've been telling every day, has been given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayur Dasa Dasa Anudas. Approaching from that mood of deep humility as the servant of the servant of the servant and the last servant of the last servant's foot dust. As our Srila Gurudev has said, approaching from that mood, we will attract mercy. If we try to approach through the medium of pride, that by my own strength I can access or capture the absolute, it won't be possible. Praying, the highest love and affection, is synonymous with humility, the deepest level of humility. So, to the extent that one has love and affection for Krishna, to that extent, they will feel themselves lowly and humble. They will feel themselves bereft. And the opposite of that, of course, one can show off that they have so much humility, or they can show off that they have so much praying, but if there's no humility involved, what is humility? It really is all about what is ultimately beneficial for Krishna's pleasure, for Krishna's happiness, and what is favorable for him. So, this humility would have that at its core, at its root. It wouldn't have any selfish interest in it whatsoever. So first we're calling out to Guru, Vaishnavas, Shad Goswami, Rup Goswami, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who we are going to call out for now. Page 61, Nitai Gunamani Amar, Nitai Gunamani. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nitai Guna Mani Yama Nitai Guna Mani Nitai Guna Mani Yama Nitai Guna Mani Aniya Prem আইল গৌর দেশে প্রেমের বন্যা লয়া নিতাই আইল গৌর দেশে ডুবিল কথা গান বিনহীন ভাসে ডুবিল কথা গান বিনহীন ভাসে বিনহীন পতিত মারো নাহি বাছে বিনহীন পতিত মারো নাহি বাছে ব্রহ্মার দুর্লভ প্রেম সবাকারে যাচে ব্রহ্মার দুর্লভ প্রেম সবাকারে যাচে আবদ্ধ করুণা সিন্ধু কাতিয়া মোহানো আবদ্ধ করুণা সিন্ধু কাতিয়া মোহানো ঘরে ঘরে ভুলে প্রেম অমিয়ারো মানো ঘরে ঘরে ভুলে প্রেম অমিয়ারো মানো লোচন বলে মোর নিতাই যে মানা ভজিল লোচন বলে মোর নিতাই যে মানা ভজিল জানিয়া শুনিয়া সে আত্মঘাতে পড়িল জানিয়া শুনিয়া সে আত্মঘাতে পড়িল নিতাই গুণ মনি আমার নিতাই গুণ মনি নিতাই গুণ মনি আমার নিতাই গুণ মনি আনিয়া প্রেমের বন্যা ভাসয় আনিয়া প্রেমের বন্যা ভাসয় जय नित्यानंद राम पावन श्री नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। प्रेम पुरुषोत्तम शचिनंदन गौर हरि की जय। सखे कालय गुरुमुदारम। In the Sanskrit section, page 340, 340. If you can't remember the page number, Lavanga Devi posts the page number. And if you need the bhajan, and you don't have the songbook, then Jiva Pavana Prabhu very kindly posts the bhajan in the comments section of the thread. So just scroll to the most recent post of Jiva Pavana, and there you will find the bhajan with the translation, generally followed by beautiful commentaries from our acharyas on these particular subject matters. So Sri Satyanandana Gaur Hari Ki Jai. I also need to be aware of the what's going on right now. I can't see it at the moment. Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay. Sakhe Kalaya Goramudaram Sakhe Kalaya Goramudaram Sakhe Kalaya Ma Is it okay still, Sudevi? Okay, I can't see. Page 345, 345, Śrīla Rupa Gosvāmī Pad, Jaya Jaya Ballabha Raja Kumar. Jaya Jaya Ballabha Raja Kumar, Jaya Jaya Ballabha Raja Kumar, Jaya Jaya Ballabha Raja Kumar, Jaya Jaya Ballabha Raja Jaya Vallabha Raja Kumar Radha Diti Haram Muralidharam Radha Diti Haram Muralidharam Nayaranjana Krito Madana Vikaram Nayaranjana Krito Madana Vikaram Jaya Jaya Vallabha Raja Kumar 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 Rasaranjita Radha Parivaro Rasaranjita Radha Parivaro Rasaranjita Radha Parivaro Rasaranjita Radha Parivaro Karita Sanātana Chitta Viharo Karita Sanātana Chitta Viharo Jaya Jaya Vallabha Raja Kumar 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 Radha Vakshashi Harimaniharo Radha Vakshashi Harimaniharo Radha Vakshashi Harimaniharo Radha Vakshashi Harimaniharo Jaya Jaya Vallabha Raja Kumar 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 Krishna He 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 Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki Jai. Jiva Pavan Prabhu, is it possible to post Radhika Charana Renu Bhushana Koryatanu? I don't know, previously it seemed like it was difficult to find that one. I can't exactly recall. Why isn't it? Yeah, because we didn't use enough today. So apparently it's still working. It's page 112 in this songbook, 112. Have they posted it? Do you know, Sudevi? I can't pull it up and see. Radhika Charana Renu Bhushana Koriyatanu Anayase Pave Giridhari by Śrīla Narottam Das Thakur. Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj has famously told that if you want Krishna Prem, then you should purchase 2 books. What are they? Prarthana and Prem Bhakti Chandrika, both of Śrīla Narottam Das Thakur. And Śrīla Narottam Das Thakur, his mood is one who is averse to hearing the rasa-laden pastimes of Radha and Krishna. They will never attain perfection. Let me not even hear the name of such a person. If my ears do not hear such narrations of Radha's glories, then destiny has cheated me. If one chants the name of Krishna, one will attain the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika, and if one chants the name of Srimati Radhika, one will attain the lotus feet of Krishna. So he says, Dukamoy anya kata dvandva. Contradictory words will only lead to pain and sorrow. So we definitely don't want Narottam Das Thakur to want to avoid us. We want him to give us his mercy, not to turn away. So we should never neglect that personality who is the dearmost of Krishna, that is Srimati Radhika. And if we also want her mercy, we should not neglect Krishna as well. Radha and Krishna, their love and affection is our everything. Is it there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there isn't a race, but it's there.
No, I was just wondering because that bhajan was difficult to post in the past.
What do you mean is the...
Yes, the bhajan been posted. Radhika Charana Renu Bhushana Koriyatanu.
112. No, not yet. Maybe they don't have it.
Dear Bhavana, we did.
Janardhan Prabhu has it in the yellow book, page 70.
वृषभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा ठाकुरानी की जय। राधिका चरण रेणु भूषण कोरियातनु। राधिका चरण रेणु भूषण Jai Now we will sing Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam. I'll let you remember which page that's on. And Jiva Pavana Prabhu, of course, will post it. So Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam, as we are continuing the study of Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam, we're still in chapter 3. Today we have come to Phal Bikreni, the fruit seller Leela. Very beautiful, very sweet, and so detailed by our Srila Gurudev, with so many very important lessons for us sadhaks inside. So I'm excited to study that today with all of you. Sudevi, can they even see? Śrī Dāmodara ki jai, Śrī Radha ki jai, Radha Vina Bihari Ju ki jai, Sachinandana Gaura Hari ki jai, Giriraj Mahārāja ki jai, Shalagram Shila ki jai, Laddu Gopal ki jai, and little one ki jai. So page 290, 290. I said I wasn't going to say the number, but I figured you already all knew it. So. We're doing the Gauriyatum. Namami Shwaram Sachidananda Rupam Rasat Kundalam Gokule Brajama Yashoda Bhiyo Dukha Ladha Lasat kundalam gokule vrajama varam devam moksham namokshavadin ma nochanyam vrineham arishadoti idam devapurnato upalavayam sadame manasyami astantiman amansharam sachidanandarupam lasat kundalam gokule vrajama idam te mukham bojam avyaktanile pritam kundalasnikharattaishadopya muhushtumbitam bimbam raktadharam me manasya virastam malam lakshana namami sharam sachidanandarupam lasat kundalam gokule vrajamana namo devatamodarananda vishnu prasiddha brahma dukha jala bhimanyam kripadrishti vrishyati vinam vatanam grihane shamamabhyam me yakshidrishya namami sharam sachidanandarupam lasat kundalam gokule vrajamana kuberatmajo vata murtyay vayadva tvayamo chitta bhakti bhajo kritocha tata prema bhakti swakame prayacha namokshe drahone Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam namami sharam sachidanandarupam lasat kundalam gokule vrajamana namaste sudame suradipihame tadiyadarayato vishvasya dhane namo radhikaya tadiya priyaya namo radhikaya tadiya priyaya namo nantarinayo devayatu namo radhikaya tadiya priyaya 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 namo natarinayo devayatu namo natarinayo devayatu Damodara Radha Damodara Damodara Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Damodara Radha Damodara Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Jaya Radhe Jaya Krishna Shri Radha Damodar Ju ki jai Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam ki jai Hare Krishna Mahamantra. मेरो राधा रमण गिरिधारी गिरिधारी श्याम बनवारी मेरो राधा रमण गिरिधारी गिरिधारी श्याम बनवारी Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Śrīla Gurudev ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Rūpānuga Guruvarga ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanande. I just looked down and wondered, wow, how did the time fly so fast? And then I realized that I was speaking a little bit in between before. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Namine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedānta Swāmī Namine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times in the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad, Ashtotara Shata Shri Śrīmad, Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja. And the same thousands of Dandavat Pranam in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad, Ashtotara Shata Shri Śrīmad, Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada, and to all of our Rupanuga, Gaudiya, Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas, past, present, and future, including all of you who are present with us today, I offer my Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, dear Vaishnavas. Radhe 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 Shyam.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Shyam.
Okay. So we have some important things to discuss today. The only thing really worth discussing. The sweet pastimes of Krishna. What's important for him? Playing with his friends, stealing butter, somehow or other breaking the man of Srimati Radhika. These are important for him. What's important for us? To always bathe ourselves in the nectarian pastimes of Krishna. So without further ado, we will continue with Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam. This is the heart's treasure of Śrī Satyavrata Muni, what he witnessed in his divine trance. He revealed that, Ved Vyas placed it in Padma Purana. Then of course we have Śrī Sanātana Gosvāmī Pad's commentary in Sanskrit, then our Param Gurudev Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Mahāraja's commentary and translation of Sanātana Goswami's commentary, followed by our Srila Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahāraja's commentary on those commentaries. So it is an endless ocean of transcendental nectar with so many jewels to investigate and to find. So many deep and secret hidden jewels are present within this transcendental literature. So before entering, we will pray in the words of Śrī Raghunath Das Goswami to these divine personalities. Vairag Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatnaya Apayanan Mam Anubhikshamandam Kripam Vidirya Paraduk Duki Sanatanastam Prabhum Ashrayami. Begging in the dust of their lotus feet that may even a particle of their moods, which are present within these pages, manifest itself within our hearts. So we're still continuing with verse 3. Iti drikshvali labhir ananda kunde स्वगोषमिमाजन्तं माख्यापयन्तं तदीयेषिताग्येषु भक्तर्जितात्वं पुनः प्रेमतस्तं शतावृत्तिवन्दे नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डालं गोकुले विराजमानम्. So Srila Gurudev was speaking about Ananda Kund. Ananda Kund means the endless kunda, or in this case, ocean of transcendental nectar and bliss. On the previous page, Srila Gurudev was speaking. What is this? Ananda Kunde. Sri Krishna's sweet childhood pastimes are an ocean of rasa. That ocean is inexhaustible and has no boundary, for it is absolutely unlimited. He drowns all of the gopas, the gopis, the cows, the calves, and the entire settlement of Braja in the vast ocean of these pastimes. Even he, in fact, drowns in the ocean of the sweetness of his own pastimes. So not only is all of Braj and all of Krishna's eternal associates, not only are all of they drowning in the ocean of transcendental nectar and bliss of these pastimes, but Krishna himself is also drowning in that ocean of transcendental nectar and bliss along with all of them. So because we had just started this pastime, I'll just do a little recap up to where we came. So Srila Gurudev was telling that one day a fruit seller from Mathura came to Braj to sell her fruit. So this was common. Persons who were selling their goods would move between Vrindavan and Mathura. Having heard of the beauty, the sweetness, the charming pastimes of Krishna, little Krishna, an intense greed manifested in her heart that I must see him. I must attain his darshan. And the more she had heard, the more this greed awakened in her heart. And she tried on a regular basis, but was unable to do so. So when you're trying to attain something, and you know that that thing is a reality, they say if at first you don't succeed, then try and try again. But this not being able to attain it was in fact increasing her transcendental eagerness for that darshan of Krishna. This mood of separation was creating an increasing, ever-increasing longing within her heart. For so many of us, we might chant for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years or 30 years and then think, you know what? It's not doing anything. So we can put our mala down and say, well, it didn't work. Maybe we weren't applying the process properly. How did Srila Bhaktivedānta Tirtha Maharaj chant? I was telling, on one beat, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. For sure and certain, Krishna will manifest in this mantra. Oh, he didn't arrive. Perhaps something detained him. Like the gopis, they know. He said, I will return in 2 days or 4. But something has detained him. For sure and certain he will come tomorrow. And with that mood, he would go to the next beat. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. This is necessary to move forward on the path of bhakti. We have to remember, what is our 10, 20, or 30 years in this material world? It's not even a blip on a timeline, a mundane timeline of 1,000 years. What to speak of 1,000,000? What to speak of 1,000,000,000? Even this whole lifetime. 100,000 of our years, human years, is only 1 second of Lord Brahma. And unlimited Brahmas are being born and dying like bubbles in the Atlantic. So what is our few years? We should understand that Krishna has been waiting since time without beginning, simply for us to turn and look his way. It means to willingly give our love and affection, our hearts to him, without force. He's been waiting for that since forever for us. And we become frustrated when it doesn't manifest in 1 day or 2 days or 5 days or 10 years, which is nothing. So for bhakti to awaken, we must maintain our enthusiasm, utsaha, our strong determination, nishchaya, and we must also be patient, dharyat. Srila Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said, Krishna is not some laborer in our garden that we can snap our fingers, okay, you come here now. I remember when we were in the Fiji Islands, the way that the big farmers, they would, hey boy, come here. They would talk to them like that. And they would have to come, they were making measly wages, and they would treat them like this. They would come like that. Only someone who has pure prem, transcendental love and affection for Krishna, that is so overwhelming, can treat Krishna like that. That you come here now, bring Nanda Baba's shoes, bring this seat, dance for a laddu, etc. and so forth. They can treat Krishna like that. But for us, we're not on that level of spontaneous, transcendental love and affection. Then we must call to him, but be patient. We must show also that I am so eager. Srila Prabhupada said this, our Srila Gurudev said this, all of our acharyas have said this, that we must act or behave in such a way that Krishna will become eager to see us. That would mean that we would need to have a strong, burning eagerness to see him and to serve him, to love him. Then he'll become attracted to want to see us. Oh, you're taking steps toward me, let me take steps toward you. So this is required, this patience. He's not a worker, a laborer in our garden that we can order around. Rather, we are the servant, he is the master. So we should have this deep understanding that when he chooses to give his mercy, that's up to him. Until that time, we should continue to make that endeavor. Srila Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Prabhupada says, continue to make that endeavor. Keep that area, that space ready and prepared. It means the heart space. That kunda excavated and clean and ready to receive that rainwater of mercy so that Ananda Kund can be there. There must be some kind of mood of patience that yes, for sure he will come, but when he chooses to give it, this is up to him. Never mind. Whatever is up to him is up to him, but I will not stop. I will not give up. I will continue to make my endeavor and continue to pray for and cry for and wait for that mercy when it descends. So she had heard of the preeminent sweetness of Sri Krishna's pastimes in Gokul and had become exceedingly eager to see him directly. Although she came to Braja often, she had never gotten the chance to see him. Krishna was either asleep or in the lap of his mother. At other times, he was surrounded by his friends or busy playing inside his home. She tried again and again, but she was always unable to see him. If we maintain ourselves under the guidance of and in the association of pure devotees, of sadhus, then this eagerness can continue to grow by their association and inspiration. If we instead put it down, kind of give up or place everything on the back burner, it's a phrase in English, means not give it priority, and I'm saying it like this, not give them priority and give all kinds of mundane material things of this world priority. Accumulation of wealth, material enjoyment, good food. I was speaking with one devotee today, and he was talking about someone who was just interested in just satisfying his tongue, always wanting to add more rich ingredients, and always complaining that the food is not good enough. Oh, more butter, more cheese, more this, more that. So trying to satisfy my senses, making that my priority, then I won't be able to attract Krishna because I'm putting myself in the center. So by Krishna not allowing her to have that darshan, instead of putting it down and running toward the material world, her eagerness only grew more and more and more. Her desire to see Krishna. Sorry. And this is also one of the symptoms of bhava bhakti. Shantir avyakta kalatvam viraktir manashunyata ashabandha sumutkanta namagane sadaruchi asaktishtad gunakyane pritistad basati sthale. So Shantir, forbearance, tolerance. This can be in terms of the material world, but also in the spiritual understanding. Right? He hasn't manifested yet. Okay? But I won't give up. Avyarta kalatvam means all kinds of unnecessary things which are bound in this material world. Avoid those. Viraktir manashunyata. I want to come to this samutkanta and ashabandha. Ashabandha means an endless burning hope. Hope is our best friend. I wish I had that shlok from Śrīla Rupa Gosvāmī. I can't remember it at the moment. But he said, even though I have no qualification or even any desire, still there's this thing that's keeping me somehow connected, and it is that endless burning hope. That verse is in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And samutkanta means with intense eagerness. It is actually that hope which gives the eagerness. So we must hold on to this hope. Even if we feel hopeless, who has hope for us? Our Shri Gurudev, our Guru Varga. They see some potential. Otherwise, they wouldn't have given us anything. Any time, any harikatha, any mantra, any facility. They've given us everything because they have hope in us. You are an eternal servant of Krishna. You will never be satisfied by anything of this material world because you are eternal and everything else here is temporary. The only satisfaction you will find is in your own nature, which is to love and serve Krishna. So they see that potential within us and they endeavor to awaken that potential within us for our own benefit and also for the benefit of Krishna. Because it is pleasing to Krishna when any jiva gives his heart or her heart in love and affection to him. So, direct vision of Sri Krishna is easily available to the residents of Vraja, but it is quite rare for the people of Mathura. Still, the heart of the fruit seller became so full of anxiety that she resolved, if I do not see Krishna today, I will not return to Mathura. So yesterday, we were discussing how she made this firm resolution. And our Gurudev would say, do or die. Like Mother Yashoda. But what did she say? I swear to Nārāyaṇa that I will not give up. Even if it takes my entire life, I will not give up until I bind my son, Krishna. With that kind of firm resolution, this conviction, that kind of conviction is necessary. I will not stop. I will not give up under any circumstance. What did Haridas Thakur say? They told him, you stop chanting the names of your Hindu gods. You stop chanting. He said, even if you cut my body into thousands of pieces, I can never give up the chanting of the holy names of the Lord, of Krishna. So no matter what, I will not give up. This is necessary to attract that mercy of Krishna, the mercy potency, to cover that Aishwarya Shakti and allow him to be seen or bound. So then we came to this amazing little paragraph, which is the essence of all of the teachings of our Rupanuga Guru Varga for us. The sadhaka's resolve should be exactly the same. The sadhak's resolve should be exactly the same. He should think, day and night, I will execute the limbs of devotion as instructed by Śrīmad Mahaprabhu and Śrīla Gosvāmī. With love, I will chant a fixed number of Sri Hari's names and serve Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas. Every day I will study Śrīmad Bhagavatam and other devotional literatures. Every day I will recite Gopi Geet, Venu Geet, Brahmar Geet and Yugal Geet. If I come across a Rasik Vaishnava, I will give my life to serving him. I will visit the places where Sri Radha Krishna performed their confidential pastimes in the groves and forests of Braj. I will pray very piteously there and recite hymns and prayers that are full of longing. Then Sri Krishna will surely give me his darshan. He is not far away. We have seen in the Śrī Satyavrata Gosvāmī Ashtakam how our 6 Goswamis are glorified. Sankhya Purvaka Ganantibi Kalavasani Krito Nidrahara Viharakari Vijito Chatyanta Dino Chayo Radha Krishna Gunasmrter Madhurima Nandena Sammohito Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghu Yugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. Constantly chanting the holy names of the Lord with love and affection. Not sleeping. Barely any. Why? Because when someone is desperately greedy for something, they don't need much sleep. You can see it even in this material world. People who are intensely greedy for money. I had one boss in the one job I worked. Somehow he was sleeping maybe 3 hours a day. The rest of the time he was trying to invest money. He would stay up late at night at work, looking at all of his investments, and he would be in there at 3 in the morning. I was like, my God, he was leaving at midnight and he was there at 3. And he was all day greedy to accumulate wealth. I thought, wow, he doesn't need sleep. He's got so much desire for this. And people who are in love also. They stay up on the phone with each other all night. They're always talking in the daytime, thinking about each other, barely any sleep, just constantly absorbed in the object of their obsession. And these personalities, our 6 Goswamis, are obsessed with loving service to Radha Krishna. So what are they doing 24 hours? Radha Krishna Guna Smriter. Constantly remembering the qualities, the pastimes of Sri Radha Krishna, and experiencing transcendental bliss and nectar. Constantly weeping, crying, running here and there to Govardhan, Jamuna, every tree, begging, where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? Have you seen Srimati Radhika? Oh, where are you? Where are you? Srila Prabhupada said, our Goswamis never said that I have seen, I have seen. Rather, they're always weeping, where are you? This is the example for us. Always chanting the holy names of the Lord with intense eagerness and great longing. So this is really essential for us. One day we will have to come to that kind of position. They're showing by their own examples. Our Goswamis are really our acharyas, showing by their own example how to dive deep into the practice of bhakti known as bhajan. Bhajananandin. What is it? It's part of the Śrī Gosvāmī Ashtakam. Constantly absorbed in all of the processes of bhakti, but really which is based on, it is manifested due to their deep focus on Radha Krishna. So before I continue here, I just wanted to share what Jiva Pavana Prabhu just posted, because it says Nectar Devotion, chapter 18. The purport is that under this heading of Ashabandha, Ashabandha means bound to hope itself. Asha means hope. One should continue to hope against hope that someday or other he will be able to approach the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So this is very powerful. Here's a prayer by Rupa Goswami. I have no love for Krishna, nor the causes for developing love for Krishna, mainly hearing and chanting. In the process of bhakti, in which one is always thinking of Krishna and fixing his lotus feet in the heart. This is also lacking in me. As far as philosophical knowledge or pious words are concerned, I don't see any opportunity for me to execute such activities. Above all, I'm not even born in a nice family. Therefore, I must simply pray to you, Gopi Janavalabha, that this hope, I have this hope. I simply wish and hope that some way or other I may be able to approach your lotus feet, and this hope is giving me pain because I think myself quite incompetent to approach that transcendental goal of life. But still, this hope is not letting go. And that is our best friend. By maintaining association with great personalities like our Gurudev, our Guru Varga, pure devotees, they will kindle this hope, which is maybe even impossible feeling sometimes, but they will awaken within us the eagerness to attain that impossibility. Somehow they will say, yes, it is possible for you. Don't give up. Continue. It is your birthright. There's that prayer in the Vedas. Srila Bhakti-Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj would quote it. O you sons of nectar, or children of nectar, you were born from nectar. You are made of nectar, and you are made to taste only nectar. So whatever you do, don't give up. Don't give up hope. Don't stop. Continue your search. The goal of your search exists. And you are inherently made to find that goal. So whatever you do, don't get distracted. Don't get disappointed. Don't get repressed or depressed or oppressed or suppressed. Whatever you do, don't give up that search for Sri Krishna. The reality, the beautiful. Krishna Anusandhana. We are made of that. We are meant for that and nothing else. We are meant to drink nectar. This is our soul's birthright, to dive in that Ananda Kunda and drown in that Ananda Kunda along with all of those Brajabasis and Krishna. We are made for that. So we should not give up hope. It might seem like forever, but Srila Gurudev said, we just read it before, that when we arrive, when we get there, in essence, we won't even remember what all of this is. It'll be like, did I just have a dream? What was that? It'll just completely dissipate, and we will be fully absorbed and drowned in that ocean of transcendental nectarian bliss. Iti drikshvalilabir anandakunde. So now, continuing. This fruit seller, having made her vow, she came to Nanda Maharaja's cowherd settlement and wandered about near his house. She began crying, "Come take fruits, phal lo." Phal lo. Phal means fruit in Hindi and lo means take, or Brajabhasha. Phal lo, take fruit. Come, take mangoes, bananas, guavas. Phal lo. But within moments, she became so absorbed in thinking about Krishna that instead of calling the names of fruits, before she was calling all the different names of fruits, banana lo, kela lo, ananas lo, seb lo, am lo. Like this, she's calling all the names of fruits, but she was thinking about Krishna in such deep absorption that she forgot to call the names of fruits and instead was calling the names of Krishna. Govinda lo, Damodara lo, Madhava lo. At first, she had been balancing the basket of fruit on her head with one hand, but eventually she forgot to hold the basket altogether. It kept from falling only due to her natural expertise. in Vrindavan, even to this day, so many of the gopis, there are still gopis here, not the same as Krishna's gopis necessarily, but they are absorbed in doing the activities of taking care of cows and living very simply off the land, and they carry pots on their heads full of water without using their hands, or they can carry cow dung on their heads or anything. They don't need to use hands. They can have multiple stacked up. They're very expert. So due to her natural expertise, they did not fall. What she was carrying on her head, the fruit basket. Finally, she sat down before the doorstep of Nanda Baba's house. When Sri Krishna heard the cries of the fruit seller, he could not remain sitting quietly on his mother's lap. So he climbed down and went to a nearby mound of grain. First she was calling the names of fruit, but then she actually began doing kirtan. With that kirtan, she's calling out the names of Krishna with such a desperate necessity, eagerness and greed, that Krishna, who was sitting on the lap of his own mother, was attracted to get off of her lap to go and meet who was calling him with greed. This is going to be the requirement for us to attract Krishna as well. What did Krishna do? He ran into the storeroom. He grabbed some handfuls of grain. Why? Because he had seen his parents, his father, barter with this before. That was their currency. They didn't have cash or credit cards. Their currency was trading. So they would give grain and fruit would come like that. Or in different ways they would exchange. It might have been milk products or anything. They would exchange their goods. And this is how they all were nourished. So he could not remain sitting quietly on his mother's lap. So he climbed down and went to a nearby mound of grain. After taking as much grain as he could hold in his joined palms. Mind you, he was very, very little, quite small. And he grabbed as much as he could in his two palms. Srila Gurudev explained that it wasn't very much to begin with. But because he was so little, he didn't even know how to hold it properly. So, after taking as much as he could in his joined palms, he started toward the fruit seller. But his hands were so tiny that all of the grain fell from them as he walked. When he reached the fruit seller, all he had left were a few grains that were wedged between his palms and fingers. When he opened his hands, he only had a few grains left. And he put those in her basket and said, "Give me fruit, give me fruit." Oh, give me fruit. The fruit seller became completely enchanted by the beautiful form of little Krishna and just sat there looking at him for some time. He gave her direct darshan. She was completely charmed and smitten. So she sat there looking at him for some time. Srila Gurudev says the import of this pastime is that unless someone is intensely eager to see Krishna and is absorbed in remembering him, just as the fruit seller was, he does not give them his darshan. Sri Krishna only gives his darshan to those sadhaks who desire nothing but to see him and serve him. So any other desire? This is, how do you say, a lack of qualification for receiving his darshan. Anya abhilashita shunya means devoid of any other desire. This is part of the definition of pure bhakti. Devoid of any other desire. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, only by unalloyed, means unmixed, pure love and devotion, bhaktyatvānanyaya, without anything else, only pure bhakti, can I be known and seen as I am in truth. Gyatum, drashtum, chatatvena. And Srila Govinda Maharaj explains what is tattva. Real tattva is the supreme tattva. Paratattva, Shri Krishna. As Mahaprabhu told Sanatana Gosvāmī, Krishna Swarup Vichar Shuno Sanatan Advai Gyan Tattva Braje Brajendra Nandam. The supreme non-dual absolute truth, or the absolute tattva truth, is none other than Brajendra Nandan Shyamasundar. That is Shyamasundar, Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj in Vrindavan. He is the supreme absolute truth. So that is tattva. So if you want to know him in truth or in tattva, then he can only be known through unalloyed or pure love and devotion, pure bhakti. No mix of anything else. So this is the import of this pastime. Sri Krishna only gives his darshan to those sadhakas who desire nothing but to see him and serve him. In other words, he only appears before those who have become completely free from anarthas. What's an anartha? Artha means what is favorable. What is my object, aspiration. And anartha means what is unfavorable for that attainment. So anything which is binding me in this world, any other desire, anya, abhilash, ita, and so forth. Anything else, this makes it so that he will not appear before us. So all of this needs to be weeded out. And this will come naturally in the association of and under the guidance of and following the instructions of the pure devotee, especially taking shelter of the process of serving Krishna in the form of his holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. When the fruit seller returned to external consciousness, she was completely absorbed, just in gazing upon this beautiful face and form of this charming little boy, Krishna. When she returned to external consciousness, she said, Lala, my darling baby boy, I will only give you fruit if you sit on my lap just once and call me Ma, call me mother. So, if you understand anything about the culture in India, even today, there are different considerations according to birth, according to status, family status, and everything. There are persons who, for their life, clean the sewage. That's what they do. And others who are maybe drivers. And others who are shop persons, shop attendants. And others who are priests in temples. And depending on wealth, their status, and everything. I've seen it where, because of someone's status, even though they may have done something wrong, still the person who is lower in status gets the blame for it. And these things happen, especially here. So Krishna is the son of Nanda Maharaj. Maharaj means great king. He's not just a cowherd man. He's extremely wealthy. Wealth at that time was measured by how many cows one has. And Nanda Maharaj had 900,000 cows. Only topped by Vrishabhanu Maharaj, who had 200,000 more cows than Nanda Baba. So 900,000 cows. That's a massive, massive dairy. He had a massive amount of wealth. He was considered the king of Vrindavan. And Mother Yashoda, she's also a Rani. She's the queen. Krishna is the prince. And he also tries to claim that title quite often. So, a fruit seller, generally, even now, you see people who are selling fruit. There's a big boss in the background who supplies them fruit. They take their carts of fruit and they go out and they sell that fruit. They're not considered on the highest rung of society. They're the fruit seller. And from the perspective of a prince, She was coming in from Mathura with a basket of fruit, selling fruit. And she tells him, I will only give you fruit. What you've given me is not enough. You've only got a few grains in between your fingers. That's not enough for this. I will only give you fruit if you sit on my lap and call me mother. Little Krishna carefully looked in all directions to make sure no one was watching. What would his friends say? You're sitting on her lap and calling her mother? So he was looking this way. Who's looking? Who's watching? When he was sure that the coast was clear and that no one could see, then he jumped onto her lap for just a second. In different times, Srila Gurudev has told different little details. So he jumped on her lap. Gurudev said what? He put his arms around her neck and said, Ma, for 1 second. Then he jumped off of her lap and he put his hands back out and said, give me fruit. But that moment completely stole her heart, her mind, everything. All of the deepest desires within the heart of the fruit seller had now been fulfilled. She wanted to give Krishna all of her fruit, but she could only give him as much as he could hold in his tiny arms and hands. Maybe many of you have seen that painting, the painting of the fruit seller giving fruit to Krishna. He was only able to hold so much in his tiny arms. She wanted to give him everything, but she could only give him as much as he could hold in his tiny arms and hands. He immediately took that fruit and ran to his mother. When he returned to where she was sitting in the courtyard, he placed the fruit in her veil. She was very amused. How is it that he got this fruit? Where did you get these fruits from? She asked. Krishna simply pointed toward the door. Mother Yashoda became delighted to see such succulent and tasty fruits. She began to distribute them to all of the gopis present, but amazingly, even though there were only a few fruits, the quantity did not diminish. Because Krishna had accepted that love and affection, as he did when he took that one grain of chipped rice from Sudama. Immediately the entire universe was satisfied. As he did when he took that one sliver of spinach from the pot of Draupadi. Immediately, the entire universe was satisfied. All 60,000 of Durvasa Rishi's disciples and Durvasa himself, immediately their bellies became full. They began to belch and they were completely full up to their necks. And they were thinking, whoa, we can't handle anymore. So immediately they ran away from that place. Because she offered her whole heart and everything in love and affection to Krishna in the forms of these fruits, Krishna accepted that. And those fruits were able to serve all of those gopis. And there was no end to them. They did not diminish. When Krishna left the fruit seller near the doorstep of his house, she completely lost external consciousness or external awareness. Krishna had stolen her heart, and she simply sat in the very same spot until a gopi passing by shook her and brought her back to external consciousness. She slowly picked up her basket of fruit, placed it upon her head, and then set off for Mathura. She was completely out of sense. This is also one of the symptoms of tasting the holy name. As Rupa Goswami tells, how much nectar is in these two syllables, Krishna. I require millions of ears and millions of tongues to taste and drink this nectar. And what happens? When that holy name situates itself within the cave, the inner cave of my heart, all of one's senses become inert. Means you have no idea of what's going on externally. Evam vratasva priyanama kitya jatanurago drita chitta uchay Asattito rotiti rotikayat yunmadavan vritati lokabahya. All astasattvic bhavs, ecstatic symptoms manifest on the body of that person. They're laughing, rolling on the ground, dancing, weeping, hair standing on end, and they're completely unaware of what anyone in this world says or thinks about them. Completely unaware, so deeply absorbed in the names, Svapriyanama Kirtya, taking that vow to always chant the holy names, the divine loving names of Krishna. So this effect happens to them. She was completely unaware, out of sense, what's going on, what's happening. This gopi shook her and told her, it's getting late, you should go home now. You're not meant to be here, you should go back. And she just kind of wandered off. Actually, we don't even know if her plan was to go back to Mathura. She had decided she will never return if she doesn't see him, but now she's out of sense. So this gopi shook her, brought her back to external consciousness. She slowly picked up the basket, placed it upon her head, and then set off for Mathura. As the fruit seller walked along the bank of the Yamuna river, if you follow Yamuna, you will end up in Mathura if you know which way you're going. Otherwise, you'll end up going to Delhi if you go far enough. So as a fruit seller walked along the bank of the Yamuna river, she realized that her basket had become much heavier than before. When she set it down and looked inside, she was struck with wonder. Her basket was filled with a variety of valuable jewels. So a lot of people get stuck here. Look, if you give everything to Krishna, if you serve him with love and affection, even the fruit seller, look at what he gave her. He gave her a basket of the most valuable jewels. So if you worship Krishna, look what you will get. You will get so many valuable jewels that you can enjoy in this material world. And they stop there. That's not the moral of the story at all. That's like the antithesis of this katha. That's the one part that's like, no, not that. Anything but that. But so many people get stuck in that. Wow, look at, you serve Krishna and you get so much material wealth and opulence. That's the result. And they get all excited about it and they pray. They put money there and then they say, I've given you money, I'm giving you fruit every day. Here's an apple before I go to work. Now make sure I make a lot of money. Thank you, Bhagavan. Like that. That's not the purpose. Loving Krishna is devoid. Real love is devoid of any of this karma, desire for fruitive attainments. Means I'm going to worship you, so you give me something. That's called karma mishra bhakti. It's not real bhakti, not pure bhakti. And by that mood, one can never attain to Krishna. You will not be able to have real darshan of Braj Krishna. He can only be attained by love and affection. So he filled her basket with jewels, the most valuable treasures that could ever be imagined in this world, the most valuable jewels. When she looked at that, when she saw what was in that basket, she was thinking, what is this? It is completely useless. She had already attained the most valuable treasure. What did Dhruva Mahārāja say? When he saw Śrīmad Nārāyaṇa, his desire was to have the greatest wealth and kingdom within the entire universe, more than that of his grandfather, Lord Brahma. Brahma has got the greatest kingdom. He's the first created being within the universe. He's so much more than any of the demigods even. But after having prayed for so long, he finally attained darshan of Śrīmad Nārāyaṇa. What did Dhruva Mahārāja say? Oh no, what have I been desiring? Now I have the most valuable gem standing in front of me. And all of this greatest material desire, all of it is nothing. It's not even like broken glass or the husk of rice. It is useless and useless Now I see the most valuable treasure standing in front of me. So, Dhruva Maharaj, he had that kind of mood. And now she is seeing this basket of jewels. What is this? It is completely useless. It has no meaning whatsoever. So immediately she picked up that basket and threw it into Jamuna and burst into tears. Sri Krishna has cheated me, she cried. I have been completely deprived of his real mercy. Overwhelmed by love for Krishna, she lamented bitterly and never returned to her home. When Sri Krishna steals anyone's heart, invariably this becomes their condition. Oh, I didn't see that this verse is coming next. Evam vritasva priyanamakitya jatanurago dhrita chitta uchay asatyito roditi gayat yunmadava nrittati lokabahya. From Śrīmad Bhagavatam 11.240. So the translation is, saintly people who have firmly devoted themselves to serving Bhagavan with deep love constantly engage in kirtan of their most beloved names of Krishna. When deep attachment arises in them, their hearts thoroughly melt and they become mad in love for God. They laugh and cry loudly. Agitated by love, they sing about their Lord in sweet voices, and just like madmen, without a trace of shyness, they dance and sing, unaffected by the opinions of ordinary people. So Srila Gurudev in other places has told, one second. Just this, it's necessary, and then the subject switches for next time. So the evil demoness Putana, who would murder small children and drink their blood, beautifully disguised herself as a mother and entered Braja intending to kill baby Krishna. Despite her wicked deceit, merely on the basis of her motherly appearance, Krishna granted her a position as a real nursemaid in Goloka. And in exchange for a morsel of worthless chipped rice, just see what Krishna gave Sudama Vipra. He gave him unimaginable opulence. Then what will he not give this fruit seller who is ready to give him all of her fruit? What will he not give her? She gave everything. Her heart, her soul, everything. And she had no desire for any of these other things. She approached him with love and affection, with the mood of Vatsalyata. What position would he give her? So Srila Gurudev says, what became of her? No one knows. She attained prema. She attained the perfection of the eyes, seeing this beautiful, sweet Krishna. And he sat on her lap and called her mother. So completely absorbed in that, Srila Gurudev said, no one saw, no one knows what became of her. But here he's saying, what would become of someone in such a situation? What would Krishna not give to this fruit seller who's ready to give him all of her fruit? Really, all of her fruit means her entire heart, her soul, and her everything. So, Fal Bikrani, this fruit seller, ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Rupananda Guru Varga ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Shri Gurudev Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Rupan Guruvara Ki Jai Patik Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai Prem Purushottam Sachidananda Gaur Hari Ki Jai Radha Vinu Bihari Ju Ki Jai Radha Raman Ju Ki Jai Giriraj Maharaj Ki Jai Hari Nama Sankirtan Ki Jai Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ki Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Govinda Damodara Govinda Damodara Govinda Jai 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 Shri Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe 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 Jai 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 Shri Radhe Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai 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 Shri Radhe Jai Jai Shri Radhe Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam Gaur Premanande
Hari Bol.
Hari.
Remember to pray for Lavanga and also the Fijian devotees.
Okay. So before we end, Labangamala from the
Did I
UK,
say Lavanga Lata?
No.
Okay.
is in the hospital undergoing some urgent
Spinal
surgery, and she's requested that we can pray for her. It's quite a frightening experience, so make sure we say our prayers for her. Also in Fiji right now, the Fiji Islands, where we used to live many years ago, there's a Category 5 hurricane approaching, and a few years ago, a hurricane like that did some extreme damage there. So we can also pray for the benefit of the devotees and the people there, that they will be okay. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity for remembering the beautiful teachings of our Gurudev and our Guru Varga, and especially for being with us to speak on such a wonderful and sweet subject matter. I remember when Srila Gurudev would tell these pastimes, how he would be so delighted and overjoyed and so happy, and at the same time with the parts of these kathas that were heartbreaking, he would also experience such deep and transcendental emotions that he would be weeping and crying during those moods of separation. So thank you for engaging us in this seva, this service Srila Gurudev gave to us. It is our life and soul, and for that we cannot repay you. We are indebted to each and every one of you. We look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radha Vinu Bihari Ju
Ki
Ki
Jai.
Jai. Sachinandana Gaur Hari
Ki
Ki
Jai.
Jai.
Thank you for your prayers. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.